Well, I did a couple steps of that recording, so I figured I might as well turn it on. I went and took the taco holder out, the glove box. If you go to remove it, it's very simple. There's just some push tabs right here. Just pop those in and it'll actually slide right out of the tracks. And then the mechanism that slides it in and out as far as the spring loading are just these little round things, which are springs. And those literally just set right in here. All you do is you just slide them out. Next biggest thing I need to do right now is figure out what I want to do as far as cutting out. I know I want to cut these right here. I'm going to put some Scotch tape on it and then draw my line where I want to cut, so that way whenever I cut I can at least follow a line and then sand down to where exactly I want it. This whole section right here, I'm trying to debate on what I want to do. If I want to just cut this out right here and leave this side piece in, which you'll be able to see all of it, or do I want to kind of cut it back at an angle? Kind of up in the air. We're going to figure out as we go which way I decide to do it. Biggest thing is I just want it to look clean whenever we put it in the bike. I don't want to make it look like we just popped a bunch of panels off. I want it to actually look like it was kind of made like that. Now this right here is a cross brace that goes across right here. I do want to make sure that I leave the cross brace in just to help out with the sway back and forth. In my opinion, if it was designed like that, I at least want to leave that. So if I do cut, it's going to be along this line right here. Plan on cutting all that out. So at a minimum, I'm going to cut this bottom tray and then potentially cut these back at a slight angle. We'll figure that out here in just a little bit. But I'm going to get some tape. I'm going to go ahead and tape this. I'm going to go ahead and mark it and then cut these. And then I'm going to take this wiring harness right here and I'm going to pop them off and then reroute them up into the fairing a little bit better, just so that way whenever you look down you don't see these wires sitting there. Now, as you kind of seen just now, I just found a random piece of metal tool in my toolbox. This is actually for Hondas to do engine belts. And all I did was I just kind of set it here. And this right here, oh, can't really see. 1 second. So right here, there's actually a divot or a curve that runs straight. So all I did was I just took my piece of metal and I rested it to where it set flat, and then I just drew a straight line. That gives me a good offset from that curve that I can cut down and then actually sand to. So whenever I go to cut and sand, it'll do it. Worst comes to worst, I absolutely destroy my inner fairing and I get a new one. Well, here goes nothing. I'm going to try and stay proud of this line. So I'm going to be on this end of it over here and just go down it. And then I'm going to try and sand back to the line. Here goes nothing. First one down, probably should have wore some hearing protection. All right, as you guys can see, cut just off the line. Now we're going to sand to it, both sides. This will give us that good look, and then if I want to, I could even roll the ends over before it gets to the line just to kind of clean it all up. Then these right here are the harnesses I was telling you about. Once I get this back up on the bike, I'm going to figure out a way to reroute these up into the fairing. Now, What I like is taking your time when you do it, and it'll make it look factory. If you just hacksaw it in there, make it look like you chewed on it with your teeth, it's not going to look good. Take your time, do your cut, proud of whatever line that you want, then come back in and just sand it into the line and smooth it out. Take your time on it. This isn't something that you just want to just hurry up and rush through. Take your time, get it done properly, and you'll make the lines look like they're supposed to be there from the get-go. Now, next biggest thing is we're going to be cutting this out right here. I think right this moment, I'm just going to cut across right here and cut across right here and then cut down. I think this piece just kind of snaps in place some way or another, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut and cut right here, try and leave all this intact. All right, I'm going to loosely set this back on the bike. There's no handlebars on it, but at least to just give me a, whenever I sit down on the bike, what I'm looking at to see if I just want to cut this corner out right here or just leave it. Now, I can be straight up and honest with you. This looks good. I like the openness of it. Kind of reminds me of just a Dyna, where you're just sitting on it and you can see your triple trees and all that fun stuff. Or even a Road Glide. I just like it. It's all open. Can't wait to get the bars on. They're going to set. Pretty excited. I'm glad I decided to cut where I decided to cut. I think it's going to look freaking amazing once everything's all put back together. I'm definitely going to clean up all of this. I was looking at the Trashin Supplies cover for this. I got to see how long I can get one. If I can't get one quick, then what I might do is 3D print one. I will design it and 3D print it. It's kind of up in the air on that if I'm going to do that or not. Either way, I'm pretty freaking stoked on this. Heck yeah. It's going to look good, guys. It's going to look good. I don't know if you can really see. But, I mean, it's pretty open. Now, right now, you can see a lot of the sunlight out here. We still have the lower fairing, or the outer fairing that needs to get in. That's going to kind of cover up a lot of this, but I just like it because I'm going to be able to see in there, and it's just going to look tough. I'm still kind of debating on cutting these corners off right here. Zip, zip. If I do that, it'll really clean it up and make it look like that's how it was designed to be. So, pretty excited. Oh yeah. Now, you're probably thinking, what the heck are you doing to your brand new pair of handlebars? For anybody that doesn't know, a stainless steel exhaust is probably the best example. Whenever it gets hot, it actually creates like a gold hue over that exhaust. Those are stainless steel handlebars. I'm trying to recreate that same kind of gold hue because I didn't want them to be like a bright silver. I wanted kind of a darker color. And I didn't really want to go black. Everybody goes black or chrome or whatever. So we did stainless steel. I've torched it and it's got that gold hue to it. I'm going to show you guys here in a second so that way you can kind of see, and hopefully the pictures do it justice. Well, it's kind of hard to see in the photos with the camera, especially with the lighting. But I can tell you that the color temperature, I guess you could say, between stuff that I didn't torch to what I did, it's got like a gold tint to it. So that's kind of what I was after. I think I would like it to go a little bit darker, but I don't want it to go too much darker. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to ride it for a little bit and see how I like it. Worst comes to worst, I just pull the bars back off and do it again. But the biggest thing that sucks right now is I definitely need to let those cool off because I have been torching it for like the past 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm going to let those cool down. While I'm doing that, I'm going to just set my forks back in place so that way I can adjust the neck bearing a little bit. And we can go ahead and start setting up the risers and the pullback plate and all that sort of stuff. But I have not gotten the dust boots for these yet, so I can't really go in just yet. But at least I'm going to set them in place. Well, I got everything test fitted up just to make sure it kind of all lines up. And as you can see how it's kind of brighter over here, then it fades into this gold. That gold is actually what I was looking for. So I'm pretty stoked that that kind of turned out. Like I said, it could go a little bit darker, but I kind of like how it looks. It's not super bright. It's got that just gold hue to it, and which is exactly what I was going for. Now, if you guys have watched the videos where Trashin Supply installed their risers on the 24 Rogue Light they have, they made a statement where the bottom bolts right here for the risers where they bolt into the trees, there had to be a special bolt. If you install it on a street glide like we're doing right now, you actually have to use this pullback plate for the street glides. Now, this pullback plate does not require it because the nut right there, let's see if I can zoom in on it. The nut is actually part of the bushing assembly for whenever you're torquing everything down, and the bushing assembly for the risers to the trees. So there is no special thing. The bolt clearance is perfect. It's not going to need anything. So once you do all this, you just put it in normal and then you torque that nut down just like you would your riser torque spec, and it should be good. Now, for anybody who's ever assembled handlebar setup and stuff, you have to take it on at least a 15-mile imaginary ride just to kind of see how it feels on you. Because what you don't want to do is do all this complete install and then you absolutely hate it. But let's go take it on its maiden voyage. Blah, blah, blah. No, it feels really good to me where it's set. I'm not too lean forward, not back. One thing that I didn't really care for on my lowrider ST that I had was I felt like I was hunched forward, even with my pullback plate and high bend bars and all that crap, or pullback risers, not pullback plate. It's just, I felt like I was too far forward. This right here, I'm actually sitting at like a very comfortable. I've got bad shoulders, so I can't go super high. Pretty much about shoulder height is comfortable for me. And I can tell you straight up, I'm going to be able to just have some fun with this. Oh yeah. Make sure you are torquing properly to 40 foot-pounds. Whoa. Now, for you need to make sure that you're looking up your torque specs. If you don't have an owner's manual, make sure you get one. And then I did also install some Loctite on there. Make sure Loctite's on, just the blue stuff, and it'll be fine. For your actual risers, same thing. You still need to torque those. You still want to put a little bit of Loctite on there. You don't need to put all of the Loctite, just a little bit. And then your torque is going to be the same. We had some technical difficulties with our video recording, so we want to apologize in advance. This next little bit is actually going to be from my cell phone and a vertical, not the best audio. Please bear with us. We apologize, and hopefully this doesn't happen again. Now, as you guys can see, we are going back together with this thing, but I wanted to take the time to kind of show you guys whenever you're doing work on bikes, go that extra little mile and it will make everything look so much better. Whether or not this is going to look good, in my mind it's going to. this color of bluish gray, some of my accents are either going to be gold. As you can see, these are Trashin Supply mid-bend bars that I goldened. But I've also thinking that I'm going to do a little bit of OD green. If you notice, I've got OD green there. My little plugs that I made for the mirrors that I'm taking off of the interfering, those have a little bit of OD green there. And then I might be running OD green grips whenever all this thing goes back together. If you just spend that little extra time, whenever you actually get the whole bike put back together, it's going to look that much better. You don't want to spend all this time on the bike, cut little tiny corners like that where you don't try and make them just a little bit better, and then it kind of looks like ass whenever it's all together. Well, everybody, I kind of got ahead of myself, and for the most part, it's back together. Let's take a look at it. This thing looks freaking sweet. So from the front end, you can see I got the cans off the front. I am still waiting on my seals to come in, so that's why the front tire is not on yet. Once the seals come in, I can slap those on and get the front tire back on so we get this thing down the road. The biggest difference from looking right here is, of course, the cans, but then now you can see mirrors. Since I got rid of the little side mirrors on the fairing itself. But here comes the sexy part. Whew! Now, the gold heat came out perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. As you can see down here, I left it all open. I'm currently waiting on Trashin Supplies has a carbon fiber cover for this lock. I'm waiting on that to come in. But being all open, bitch looks tough. And I'll show you can still see everything on the screen. And right now is my riding position. Biggest thing that people would complain about is losing the taco holder. I need to stop eating tacos while riding down the road anyways, so it was okay with me getting rid of that big old thing. But seeing this all open, everything on, looks good. I do still have some grips that I can put on. I've got some ODI black ones, but as you can see with the OD green here, my little pieces that I made for right there, I have some OD green grips that's coming. I'm going to see what those look like compared to the bike. If I don't like them, then I'm going to put the black ODIs on. I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited to ride this thing, especially this weekend, because hopefully, if everything goes right, I'm going to be crushing about 600 miles this weekend. It's going to be awesome. Then once I get back from that trip, it is going to be just past due by like 100 miles of doing my 1,000-mile service. So we will be knocking out the 1,000-mile service on that as well. Plus, I got some other goodies that need to still go on it. If you guys like this, subscribe down below and watch out as we get this 24 Road Glide up and going.